Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Tuesday. Today we are going to be chatting about my top suggestions for helping you reach your best possible skin situation. So some of these things are totally obvious things, but I feel like a lot of times it's good to get a reminder to kind of help you to step up your skincare game again if you've been kind of lazy about it, or if you feel like you've just had too much going on and you feel like you can't really justify the time for a skincare routine. There are just some basic things that I think are very easy to incorporate just into your everyday life that I think make a very big difference in terms of how your skin looks. So for me personally, I can say that at 42, my skin looks better than it did at 22, hands down. I was just looking through some of my photo albums the other day back from the college days, and I really think that it looks better now than it ever did when I was way younger. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that in my 20s, for the most part, I've always been a little bit of a beauty product junkie. But when it came to skincare, I think I took a lot of shortcuts and I used a lot of products that were less than ideal. I was maybe a little bit more aggressive with certain products than I should have been. And it just led to my skin oftentimes looking dull, looking dehydrated, despite being super oily. I think it definitely led to some overproduction of oil. I feel like my skin didn't have a glow in my 20s, which is really sad because when we think about it, most of us who are in our 40s and 50s and beyond, we look back and we're like, oh, I wish I was 20 again, things worked a lot better back then. But I think that you can get there yourself if you just dedicate a little bit of time every single day to a routine and maybe tweaking a few things here and there that could really make a big difference. So as I was laying in bed last night, I made a little list on my notepad here, and we're just gonna read through it. If I have specific product suggestions, I will put links for them in the description box down below, so make sure you open that up. And you will, I'm sure, see a plethora of products that I myself have used that work incredibly well. Okay. Before I get into it, I do want to say that most of these suggestions are for the vast majority of people out there who just have normal combination, oily, very oily, or even dry skin. I think that a lot of these suggestions are great for the vast majority of people. However, if you are someone who has and there's Penny, that's not a ghost, that's my dog. If you are someone who has very delicate or very sensitive skin, some of these things may apply to you, but for the most part, I would suggest that you work with an esthetician or a dermatologist to find the right routine that isn't going to damage or irritate your skin. Everybody else, I think you can use most of these tips. All right. The first thing, and this is a big duh that I think most of us know, but some of us get lazy. Always wash your face at night. I know there's a lot of people that don't wash their face in the morning, and I think that can be okay. I think you should at least rinse your face in the morning. I wash both morning and night, but I never ever skip a nighttime cleansing routine. One thing that I've also recently started doing is using a cleansing balm. And by recently, I mean within the last couple of years. I used to never double cleanse, but once I started doing that, I was like, oh yeah, there's a reason for this. It makes a difference. But you really need to remove the makeup, the dirt, the oil, the pollution, just the everyday gunk, bacteria, whatever else is on your hands that you're like, you know, touching to your face, your phone, all of that stuff. You need to wash that stuff off at the end of every single night. You don't have to do some big extensive routine, but you really do need to, at the very least, cleanse your face before you go to bed. Don't make any excuses. Just do it. I promise you it makes a big difference. Along with that, use the right skincare products for your skin type. So I, for example, have oily skin. So most of my products are really geared towards combating that oil. But I also use a lot of really hydrating, moisturizing products because I have come to learn that when my skin is well hydrated, it doesn't overproduce oil. So just make sure that you are using the proper products for your skin type. So some of my suggestions for oily skin, if you have dry skin, probably not going to be for you. I mean, there are some things that I think could definitely cross over, but you just need to make sure that whenever you're like reading any blogs or watching any of your favorite YouTubers, you need to know what their skin type is, and then just make sure that if you are going to invest in those products, that they really are going to work for you. You know, it could be that you're buying all the wrong products because you're following someone who has an oily skin type and your skin type is extremely dry. So make sure that you're using the right products. That's super important. Don't touch or pick at your skin. This was a really hard habit for me to break. Honestly, when I was in my teens, I was constantly picking at my skin. I was always trying to get rid of the blackheads on my nose and, you know, just picking and scratching, and it caused damage to my skin. End of story. Don't pick at your skin. You're gonna just have scars that you have to deal with later on. You might have hyperpigmentation that results from that picking. Just leave your skin alone. Let the products do the work. It might take a while, but just be consistent. I promise you, if you are using the right products, they will work, but it's not an overnight thing. Also, just don't touch your face all day. I know that, you know, when I was sitting in class, I would often like, you know, do like this little number here because bored out of my mind, couldn't wait to get out. But, you know, like then I would get breakouts in this area right here, or sometimes when I hold my phone too close to my face. Honestly, most of the time I'm one of those annoying people that just uses speakerphone. Not that I'm out in public a whole lot right now. I try not to do it in public, but I do. I try to use speakerphone whenever possible because I don't want the phone right next to my face. There's a lot of bacteria on phones. Just keep your hands, keep your phone, keep the things away from your face. Always wear SPF. This is huge. If you're not doing this, you have to start wearing SPF. There's no point in getting a bunch of work done at a dermatologist's office or an esthetician or a med spa or anything like that in terms of lasers or peels if you're not going to protect your skin after. Also, there's no point in investing in the expensive skincare if you're not going to protect your skin when you're outside. Now here's the thing, I even wear SPF on days where I know I'm not even remotely going to be outside for more than like 5 minutes. I just always wear the SPF because I made it a part of my daily habit. You need to find the right fit for you with an SPF because some of them can cause a white cast, some of them can be really unheavy, some of them can cause breakouts. You know, I did quite a few videos this past summer on the best sunscreens for an oily skin type if you want to reference those. But just put the SPF on every single day. I will put a couple of my favorites in the description box down below. Wear the SPF. Protect your skincare investment. Skincare isn't cheap. So if you want that stuff to work and to see the results and to keep the results, put on the SPF. Clean your makeup brushes. I know a lot of us are guilty of this one. I have to admit that in recent months, I've gotten a little bit more lazy about this. Ideally, you should be cleaning your makeup brushes at least once a week. If you're not, you should start cleaning your makeup brushes. These things collect a lot of bacteria. I mean, there's skin cells, there's microbes, all sorts of stuff on your skin. They're all ending up in here. And I guess I should be showing you a face brush since I'm talking about the overall skin. But yeah, just wash them. I actually just use a bar of the Dr. Bronner soap. Works perfect, super cheap. I think the bars are like $2.99. A bar lasts me at least 6 to 8 months. I mean, if I'm washing my brushes once a week, and I use a lot of brushes, I have quite a few in front of me here, so use quite a bit of soap for that, but it makes such a big difference, you guys. Wash your makeup brushes. Sleep. Get good sleep. I think it's so important to get rest. I just went through a recent bout of insomnia, and I can tell you that my skin looked worse. Everything looked worse during that time, and I couldn't think straight. It was awful. If you're having trouble sleeping, definitely get that looked into and resolve that issue for yourself. For me, I started taking a magnesium supplement that made a huge difference. I think that I was definitely very depleted in terms of magnesium. That can get depleted during times of stress, which most of us are dealing with a lot of that right now. So look into it, talk to your doctor. I think that it's so important to just get at least, it's gonna vary for everybody, but a minimum of like 7 to 9 hours a night is really ideal. Some people need more, some people need less. I am someone who needs a very average amount of sleep. If I get 7 or 8 hours, I feel fantastic. But for a while there, I was getting like 2 hours of sleep. Not enough. And boy, did it show in my skin. My skin was super dull. I started getting a couple breakouts here and there, which I don't normally deal with at all. And I couldn't think straight. I was having trouble finding words. It was a nightmare. Along with getting that good sleep, wash your pillowcases and wash them frequently. The best thing to do is to have multiple pillowcases that you can just change out every few days. I have quite a number of pillowcases, and I do switch them out very frequently. For the most part now, I am actually sleeping on my back, so it's not as big of an issue. But if you are a side sleeper, if you're a stomach sleeper, your face is pressed against that pillowcase. And again, you are transferring bacteria, skin cells, all sorts of things onto your pillow. Wash your pillowcases. I promise you, it makes a big difference. Be consistent with your skincare and your devices. As someone who consumes a lot of YouTube and who also has a channel, I know that I have a lot of things that I buy. I have things that are sent to me, and the best thing that I've done is to be consistent with those things. That is how I saw results. Was it instant? No. No. Nothing that I've used really gives like instant, like immediate, that day result. Like there are very few products, if any, where you're just going to like put it on, take it off and be like, wow, look at me. Perfect. Every flaw is gone. It all looks amazing. It doesn't work that way. You have to use your skincare consistently. That means having a morning routine, a nighttime routine, have your masks if you do them, your different devices. Just use them consistently. Not every device is going to work for every single person, so it might be that you use something for 6 months and it does nothing for you. That can happen. It might be that you use something for 6 months and you're like, wow, night and day difference, amazing. But you have to actually use it to see if it's gonna work for you. And I think a lot of people buy things and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna use this, but then they get lazy. Don't be lazy. Use the stuff. Also, don't be that person that saves it for a special occasion. Don't. There's no point to that. If you're just gonna save it for a special occasion, then just buy something a couple days before your event and then use it for those few days, and just be realistic that you're not gonna see results. That's how it works. Skincare is something that takes a while to see the results from, so just stick with it. No matter how frustrating it can be, no matter how slow it seems, there will be a day where you wake up and you're like, whoa, my skin looks amazing. It's because of consistency. And again, use the right products for your skin type. Don't forget your neck. And this is something that I'm probably gonna upload a video about tomorrow, is the products that I've been using on my neck and my chest. just some tips and tricks and using up products in those areas that you may not necessarily want to use on your face anymore type of situation. But really, you guys, don't ignore this. I see so many women who have a beautiful like face. Their skin just looks flawless and gorgeous. And then you look at the neck and it's crepey and there are wrinkles and you know, there's discoloration on the chest, especially from years of either being in the tanning bed or out in the sun without wearing SPF. And there's just nothing shows your age more, I feel like, than the backs of your hands and your neck and your chest. People can tell, especially if your face looks fantastic and then it just goes to crap down here. Bring everything down. You don't necessarily have to buy special products for this area here. You can use whatever you're using on your face. For the most part, some people don't want to use tretinoin on their neck. I know I don't. I have to use a retinol. Tretinoin is way too strong for my neck. But I could totally use tretinoin on my chest. Not that I'm there yet, but just remember to treat the entire area. Really, treat your whole body. Why not, right? Another tip, exfoliate. Now, exfoliation, you can do it a couple different ways. The most recommended way is to use acids, you know, like your AHAs, your glycolic, your lactic, your malic, your azelaic, your citric acids. I really have probably seen some of the biggest difference in my skin by using chemical exfoliants. I am also someone who does use a Clarisonic every single day, so I also do some manual exfoliation. I don't mind a gentle scrub as well. Scrubs are not for everybody, so if you do use them, please be gentle with them. Never be aggressive with your skin. There's no need to. You're just gonna damage your skin and then you're gonna have to undo that damage, and it's just gonna add time to seeing the final results of having a good skincare routine. Be gentle with your exfoliation, but do exfoliate. You are going to need to get rid of, you know, your flaking skin, maybe from from your retinol or from your tretinoin, and just do it in a gentle way, but exfoliate your skin. It makes a huge difference. There's nothing worse than having layers and layers and layers of just dead skin sitting there. Get rid of it in a very gentle way. Now, like I said, there are tons of different types of exfoliants. You kind of need to play with the ones that work best for you to see which one is kind of your holy grail. For me, beta hydroxy acid is super important because it gets deeper into my pores and it helps with things like blackheads, which are an issue for oilier skin types with enlarged pores. Some people who don't deal with enlarged pores, you might not need to use beta hydroxy acid. Maybe you can just stick with an AHA, a glycolic acid, or a tartaric acid or something like that. So just pick one that works best for you, but exfoliate your skin. Don't over exfoliate, but do exfoliate. I think once or twice a week is probably a pretty good bet. I don't think it's something that you necessarily need to do every single day, but if you are using certain devices, you are gonna get a certain amount of exfoliation, even if you're just using a washcloth, you know, to wash your face. Like, you're gonna get some gentle exfoliation from that, but don't ignore the exfoliation. I think it's very important. And then the last one is to use either a over-the-counter retinol, and there are tons to choose from. I'll put some of my favorites down below, or go get a prescription for a tretinoin. I know that the prescriptions can be very expensive. There's different tips and tricks to bringing the cost down, and there's lots of videos about that. But I can tell you from my experience, I used retinol for a very long time and got to a pretty good place with my skin. A year ago, just over a year ago now, actually, I started using tretinoin. I started at 0.05%. I'm still at that percent right now. I am going to be stepping it up probably next fall, but it made a huge difference. There is a difference between an over-the-counter retinol and a tretinoin, and I saw that difference myself when I started using the tretinoin a year ago, and I like my skin better on the tretinoin. So, and I also think the earlier you start it, the better. There are some people who have been on it for years and years. Is it Miss Melissa M? Oh my gosh, Melissa, I'm sorry. I don't remember the name of your YouTube channel, but she's gorgeous. I believe that she is in her, I think she's in her 60s now. Oh my gosh, her skin looks fantastic. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about. I'll link her channel down below, but she's been on tretinoin for a very, very long time, and she has mentioned that multiple times on her channel, and I think just recently she actually did another video of like 25 years on tretinoin or something like that. She looks amazing. She was smart. She started it a long time ago. So even if you're in your 20s and if you're able to afford the prescription, I think you should try a tretinoin. It's proven, it is effective, it works, and it makes a huge difference. So there you go. Anyway, those are all of my suggestions for you guys here. Hopefully those are helpful. Some of them, again, are just kind of big duh type things, but maybe you just need a reminder. Anyway, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch today. Let me know what your favorite skincare tips are down below in the comments. So make sure if you are watching this video that you check out the comments as well, because you might find some gold down there as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.